Okay, there we go. Hopefully my mic's working now. Sorry for the beginning point. I'm really coming in hot on this one today. No idea if I've got all my systems set up for today's stream of Unreal. Usually I have it all set up before, but as I started my stream, I'm like, wait, I haven't checked to see if my mic works. And I just did a Windows update, so sure enough, it didn't work first. Anyways, hopefully it all works now. Let me know if it's not. Otherwise, we'll start our show as normal today. There we go. Sarah's here. Good morning, Sarah. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, or we're going to take a look at Collard Students, Adam Smith's project, or at least we're going to give it a try and see if we can do a run through it. Daniel does that too. Forgetting the mic, says Audrey. Yes, it's easy to do. It's like, especially when you get a Windows update, just to mix it up. It's like, hey, I'm just going to change all of your configurations and disconnect your audio, and then, you know, let you figure it out on the fly. But anyway, so today we're going to do a run through of Adam's project, which I was pretty impressed with. He did a really nice job, so a lot of fun things in there. And then we're going to get into, I think there's an interesting topic about doing some Alembic Cache exports from Unreal into Unreal from animation to help Kieran, another student, who has already, I think, successfully got this working. But I'm just going to run through it anyways in the stream because I think it's pretty cool to do. Audrey says, "What do you mean I didn't update right?" Yeah. Why are we shocked? Windows updates messes everything up? It's totally normal. It happens like at least once every 3 months, where I'm just sort of like, oh look, all of my stuff is incorrect again. Should have known. And then the last thing we're going to do in our stream is we're going to talk about how to set up MetaHuman animation for the MetaHuman Animation Challenge that is coming down the line. And I just wanted to make sure that I actually covered how to get the plugin working and get it set up on my end so that you guys can also participate in that challenge, since it does have rewards like Dell computer workstations, and I think the Animation Mentor is involved with giving some mentor results or mentoring for the final piece. But really, it's just an exercise to participate and get used to what I think is pretty cool is the 10-second animation club, which is a website that's been around for a lot of years, and they have 11 seconds. Sorry, thanks Sarah for correcting me as I wasn't looking. And I think, hey, look, Hard IK's here. Wow, you are up nice and early this morning. Very good, nice job. Oh, and Elena's here. All right, this is great. Elena's got an excellent work in progress on one of her a very nice modeling piece with some fancy lava sparks that she was just showing me a minute ago. And Hard IK is made it from India. This is the third time he's made it, and this is the last one is now actually not within the last 2 minutes of the stream. So excellent. Make sure we make a good show for you here. I did want to pull up this animation competition just so that there's some context for what I'm talking about, but I'm scrolling back and forth on my Slack trying to find this post here for like 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure that's how long it's taken me to do this. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to jump over to my screen share here. And so we've got this, the Animation Learning Challenge 2021. This started in the beginning of May and has been around for, hey, Pietro's here too, awesome. This is great, we got a great crowd. All these people that are showing up today, it's great. I just saw your post, Pietro, for the animation, or the modeling challenges as well, for that you're setting up for the TAs. I think that's pretty exciting. It's amazing what's going on with the TAs, teaching assistants on Slack. It's just awesome. Everybody's doing a great job coming up with brilliant ideas and really getting everyone involved. I'm trying my best to try to keep up with it all. We did just start up. Hey, Miguel. Oh man, here we go. Me and my names. Hello, hello. Welcome. Let me show you what the so this is where the challenge is. But we also got this new channel called the General Socials, where everybody posts all their social links. And that was a brilliant idea by the animation mentor, or the 2D animation TD, Renata, and she came up with this idea, and I was like, hey, this is great, very cool concept, and it seems to be going pretty well so far. So lots of people posting. It's just interesting to see the direction it's changing quickly as we have all these TAs on hand. Audrey, you hired wonderful TAs. Yeah, I think this has been a really interesting experience. Everybody's been kind of like, just, I don't know, we just have all this untapped talent just sitting around, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, why don't we take advantage of that? Pietro's worried that nobody's going to participate, but I would say this is the best chance to go for it. It is a little tougher in the modeling department because you have to try and get people to take on a fairly large project. Like, you know, it's definitely not like, oh, I'm just going to do it on the side. But that's the same problem with animation as well. It's a fairly big commitment just to do a side project to participate in a competition. But here I am with a web page talking about a competition for animation. Audrey says it's DigiPaint month. So far a lot did. Yeah, a lot of people are participating in the digital painting monthly competition, or weekly, I think. Oh, but I guess you're just saying it's the month for them. And they've been doing really nice work, like very impressive. Elena says, Elena says, sorry, Elena, doing it again. That's always what happens. Where's the info, Pietro? Oh, it just came up in the Slack under the general modeling. Pietro put the post, getting the competition started, or at least announcing it. I don't know if we've actually got anything started yet. Weekly, yeah. So anyway, we're not really doing much from admin's side to help the TAs. They're just sort of like doing this all on their own. We're just like, okay, I guess, yeah, okay, okay, let's do that. They're just sort of driving the ship on that one. Yeah. Okay, so here's the competition that we're going to talk about at the end of the stream. I don't even know why I'm still stuck on this webpage. Let's go take a look at what Adam's got posted here. We're going to do a run through of his project. Hopefully it works. I've got a backup if this is his latest hot off the press version. So I'm not really sure. I probably should have done this before the stream because now we got to compress all the compile all the shaders. Unless this is the executable. Maybe it is. We'll find out. And we'll do a run through the game because it's kind of fun. It's a fun little project. Oh, it is an executable. Excellent. All right. Pietro says theme will be announced this Monday for the modeling competition. Audrey says have fun, kids. All right, here I'm gonna jump back out here, open up this. Oh, I gotta get my desktop audio is already on. Okay, well there we go. I don't know if there's a lot of audio going on here, but we do have an intro video. Oh, there is audio. I forgot. Oh, maybe not. Look at this snazzy intro. It's a whole cinematic. And it's in a different environment than the actual game. It's like, it's very cool. Got lots of our police robots running around. One guy jumps into the teleporter. Whoa, that was a nice little swipe there. Gets right into the game. Oh, and then this is the actual, he's teleporting into the world. Boom! How awesome is that? Definitely, definitely going above the bar today. This is pretty cool. For a 12-week course, I mean, this is definitely pushing some pretty cool limits here. And then, so the goal is to get into this door, which has no key, and you can see the characters inside of it. And there's this very interesting mechanic created for teleporting yourself to other characters. So as I look at the next character and I hit T, I can teleport myself over there and into the next world. Everybody wants to play this already. And we're using I think Paragon characters here that we're running around with, which are obviously pretty awesome characters to work with that are free from the marketplace. And so we hit E on that checkbox, we move the elevator down, and then I'm going to hit T to go back to my player. We spent a lot of time trying to troubleshoot how to get this whole teleporting working, but honestly, Adam did the heavy lifting on that one and really made it work, so pretty impressive. So then it goes back to what our traditionally our course kind of covers, mostly just sort of jumping from pad to pad. And I've run through this game about, I don't know, countless times, and so we'll see if any of that practice has come to any use here. Alright. And these are all reusing the same assets from, I think, the Soul Cave. But there may be some other custom assets as well, as like the Paragon and stuff, but most of them are from the, I think it's the Soul City actually. Which is, again, free assets from the marketplace. Genius! Alright, so then we go over here and we hit E on this, what is it called? A button, I guess. Switch button thing? Jump over the elevator pad that we've just moved back up again. Alright, so now we're in a room where these big doors are open, and there's this chamber. Oh, it tells me what to do. Excellent. Very good. So you're looking around, and then you get back into the teleporting feature here, where you're a different Paragon asset character. And this is pretty cool. He took on the idea to take on doing security camera setups, so you can see all these different cameras. They're actually dynamically playing a video feed coming from a different camera, being driven into a texture, which is being displayed on this texture. And I had to look into this, how he did it, because it was pretty neat that he was able to do it. One of these videos is actually a pre-recorded video, but and then the other three are, I think, dynamic, or maybe two of them are pre-recorded, I'm not sure. And so if I hit E on this, it you can watch what it's doing. It's closing the doors from the other place, and then that fairy is now free from the chamber. Now we return back, jump back into the oh, that was a bug for a second there. Oh no. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Sorry. Freaking Adam out. Yeah, that was a. This Paragon assets is too bad. They're awesomely made characters, and it's like they had a I don't know, non-existent exposure into the world, but at least they're free for everybody to use now. Okay, so I need to get that key card from this character. So I'm going to again. Here we go. E. Press E, and we get into a cinematic. I would almost argue this is a pre-rendered cinematic, but nicely, the camera exposure looks nice. A little cinematic sequence. Audrey's voting for violence. It's like, you can't have my key card. I want it back. So, we progress through the level. You go into these dark areas where you're supposed to hit F to turn on your flashlight. And there's these creepy things inside of all these chambers here. Kill the fairy, says Pietro. It's a battle to the death to get the key. It's the only way. Guys are on the same wavelength. Alright, so I'm going through the mission a little more here. Now, I think if you're the first time player for this, you'd probably get a little bit confused at this point because of the fact that those are complex. So it's kind of a complex, very dark maze area to go through. And I happen to know that this door I can open. So I'm cheating a lot because I happen to know a lot of the secrets. But at least you're getting to see everything. This is a special secret area. Hey, Dave's here. Doing much better playing it this time, Simon. Thanks, Dave. have had a history of playing these games terribly in my especially in my Q&As. Get your swears away for it. What did I miss? Are those all the same Soul City assets right there? Yeah, you know it. Pietro also had a very awesome level when he went through this course. It was very nice. Nice. We're just hopping our way through to get to the... I got the key, but I gotta get back to this door. That's the challenge. Somehow I gotta get back to where I started, so I'm going through this long, elaborate process because there's doors I had closed, so I can't go back the same way I started. And so here, we're in a special, crazy projector room, and this is actually a real projector. It was pretty neat. The process, the learning curve on this one was like we were using, Adam first tried using a decal, kind of printed on the wall, but then we wouldn't have a proper shadow if we did that. So he found a solution where you actually project 3 lights, and each light can only do a black and white pass. So you do a black and white pass for the red, blue, and green, and then it gives you all the 3 colors mixed together as like a projector. I'm not even sure how he exactly got the 3 color passes as videos to work. That was probably a very complicated process. Audrey says, now I want to see Elena's and Pietro's. Yeah, that's true. They both have one. Elena has her project too. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably a good idea to run through student projects while we're doing it on the stream. I mean, it's you'll start to realize that there's a very common theme in all of our projects. Oh no, see, I actually had to die there. So that was just to test out the ragdoll, make sure that worked. That's what I always do, at least once. Wait, I'm way over here. And test out the respawn points, the checkpoints that have been happening as I was going through it. But I do actually have to go past a whole bunch of the level again. We have a couple other projects that are coming along from 2 other students that are way far advanced for they look really good, and so I'll probably be demoing that. Oh shoot, I didn't jump on them. I'm so sorry. We're gonna do it again. We're probably gonna be demoing their files eventually too, because they're doing some pretty cool stuff. And the only problem is you gotta watch me play, which is just going really well right up until just now. Pietro says I destroyed the evidence. Nobody can ever see his project, except for the version that's sitting on my computer. Elena says, you know, you don't want to see mine. I'm no level designer. Ah, yours was pretty good. There's just no pressure. Bumblebee is suicidal. Elena also said, claiming that hers was destroyed. This is a very destructive, there's a destructive process going on here. Alright, here we go. I gotta make this jump. So I'm gonna go as fast as I can and jump as long as I can. And then I make it. There we go. Okay, so we get to the end now. I got my key. Go through the door. We got an awesome little animation at the end. Here it is, Adam Smith's project. And he's got a crazy demo room, which I won't spend too much time, but he's got also this massive amount of demo room where he's carefully demonstrated all the different features that he was working on and laid it all out in a way that lets you sort of test out each piece. So super thorough. Again, very impressive that he got all this done in 12 weeks. But anyway, I think we've done a nice job of demoing that one. Audrey says, can't judge, literally deleted my entire Instagram not long ago. Oh no! There was a post. Was that you that posted about it, Audrey? Somebody was posting about how they can't compulsively want to delete everything after they post things. We have to hack your computer and delete them, says Elena. Pietro says, I model stuff. That's it. I don't want to see that again. Oh, come on. It was pretty good. Sean. Hey, Sean. That was really cool, not gonna lie, says Sean. There you go. And you get some good words of confidence, Adam. And hey, Sean. Glad to see you made it to our stream. Audrey also did do that post about compulsively deleting everything that she posts. It was a good question. I mean, honestly, it's a great conversation to bring up, especially when you're doing like art. It's just, you're putting everything out there, right? It's very difficult to just confidently do it and then not question it and not just, you know, the anxiety of having it out there. I totally can understand and relate, but at the same time, I think it's also a really nice. It's nice to have that push. Otherwise, you're just too safe in your bubble. It's nice to be out there and like just pushing yourself, going, oh, I got to do better than that next time, and I got to do this better and do that better. But it is tricky. Especially when it's learning work. Hard to be proud of it sometimes, yeah. And I mean, even the projects that I'm showing off right now, and these are all, you know, we're in the first 12 weeks of Unreal, so everybody's, you know, using the same sort of assets. They're all kind of doing the same sort of thing. And yeah, it's pushing in different directions, but even Adam's going to come back and look at this and go, oh man, that's such old work. So you really got to kind of just enjoy it at the moment when it's fresh. And just keep trying to push the bar higher. Pietro's got to go to sleep. Fair enough. Thanks for joining us and having a little chat. Always enjoy it. And now we're going to take a look at how to do. I think what we're going to do is take a look at how to do this Olympic cache from Kieran's project, because we kind of talked a bit about it at the open session about how to like import animations, and you know, we've kind of gone through importing animations quite often on our stream, so I'm not going to go through that process again. But one of the problems we were having with it was just the fact that the bottom jaw wasn't animating, and it was just it's a complex rig, and it creates a lot of different issues. And one of the solutions I didn't think of at the time, was to do a cache of it and try and import the cache instead. So I'm just going to go through the process and hopefully remember how to do it, because I haven't really practiced or anything for this, but it's a nice excuse as to where importing point cache is a nice alternative to trying to do skinning. And then we'll get into kind of set up our Maya scene for doing some meta rig animation, and hopefully spend some time doing a bit of animation to get used to the rig. Sean, I'm still not over it. Oh, I missed a post here. When I come to, Sean says, when I post some of my stuff, I go through this cringe phase. Just gotta push through it sometimes. Yeah, I'm in the same boat too. I have some stuff posted in my Vimeo that I'm like, I really don't want that to be there anymore, but I haven't got anything to replace it yet, so that's where it is. Never goes away, it lingers. Audrey, Sean, what's your Instagram website? And Sean goes, oh no, why did you ask? Yeah, it shows growth, but it's hard to look at. It's true. Here's the cute little puppy animation that Kieran did. It's pretty good, but as you can see, there's some serious lack of jaw movement here at the very end. And even though I got the skinning all working and stuff, we have some sort of disconnect that's happening with there's just no influence on the jawbone through the bottom jaw. And you know, my solution was, oh, we just have to look into it a little more deeper and figure out why exactly the influence isn't working. But it could very much lead to like reskinning and doing some heavy fixes, which isn't a great answer when all you want to do is just play your animation in Unreal. You don't want to go through all this hassle of re-rigging your animation just so that you can get it to work in Unreal. So we're going to take a look at how to export it a little bit differently. So when I open this file in 2022, I get these new warnings. I've never seen these warnings before, but they actually talk about Melscript, and I think they're like basically flagged for security issues or something. I just say allow now, but I've never seen these kind of warnings before, so they must have added some kind of security check for Melscripts just so they don't become malicious, which maybe was a problem at one point. I don't know. Here's our Maya file with the character animation, and you can see here the ears and the mouth are working just fine. Sean says, just kidding, it's Sean Low 3D on Instagram, has the rain character from the rig from Blender as the profile. Yeah. Sean's also got his animation on the CG Spectrum page, I'm pretty sure. Which, I don't know if you knew that or not. that might infer a lot of anxiety. Pretty sure it's Sean's animation. Let me just see if this is still true. Animation courses. Where did I see that? Couple of frames. I think there's like an actual animated portion. Not mistaken, but I'm not seeing it right now. It was somewhere where I was like, oh look, this is animation. It's just playing right in here. Maybe, yeah, it's probably just right here on the main page. There it is. a couple frames. Okay, I see what you're trying to say. It is just a couple frames. Still though, it's a cool couple frames. All right. Yeah, there you go. See, this is like real-time reacting. We're getting to watch it right in front of us. It's like just like the conversation we were having before. All right, so what we're gonna try to do is take this mesh. I'm gonna, like, it's currently in preview mesh, so I'm gonna hit 1 to bring it back down to a standard mesh, which actually adds a lot of faceted edges on all of the mesh. So we're gonna take the mesh as well and grab all the edges and make sure that they're softened. Or at least that's the plan. There we go. We go to modeling, mesh, soften edges, so that they don't have that faceted look anymore. No, it's the same number of polygons. And I'm pretty sure it's just this mesh I want to export, because it seems like all the other meshes are coming out okay in Unreal. We got the collar working fine, and we got the jaw mesh and the eye mesh and all the other stuff. So I think all I need is the body mesh to be exported. Audrey's liking the Instagram. Right. Alright, okay, what's the material for the puppy? A Lambert and Maya? It is a Lambert. Pretty sure. Yep. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter necessarily what it is when you get into Unreal, because it'll just have to become an Unreal material in general. But yeah. That's no problem with Sean's Instagram. As a French, I approved the frames in Paris. Oh. Now I feel like I should go check out his Instagram, but I actually am very incompetent with using Instagram. So don't know what I'm gonna do if I try to figure that out. Okay, now I need to do a cache export, and we're gonna do a. Now this is where I'm gonna get really rough, because I know I've done this before on a stream, and I'm pretty sure this is all I'm doing. I'm hoping that there isn't like a second version of caching that uh-oh, it's not the right kind of cache. What other kind of cache should we put in here? Well, maybe it is the right kind of cache. I don't know. We're gonna try it anyways. Doesn't work, we'll try another one. Or actually, we're gonna do a Google search and figure it out that way. Okay, I did something. Where did it go? Those are my default projects. Oh man, it makes a whole bunch of frames. Maybe Sean knows how to do Olympic caches. I remember who it was that was telling me how to do it before. Oh, there's one file. time slider, float points. So what we're trying to do is just basically store them all as single. Each vertex gets stored in as a point in space, and then you just replay all these vertices moving around. It's kind of like having a joint for every vertex, but obviously the expense of the cache is not as big of an overhead. Oh, those are student examples. I could just use that to go see what Pietro's project looks like. Wasn't where I meant to go though. Where am I supposed to be going here? Oh, wait, we're just doing a directory. What we just got. Alright, okay, can we see a graph editor of this animation? Sure. Irene? Oh man, we're speaking French now. Quib. A quib? It's for Maya. It's for Maya. For graph editor. Search on Googler. Googler. Yeah, I will be searching on Google when I find out that I've done it wrong. So, in about 10 seconds, I'll be searching on Google. I'm not sure what it is you wanted to see in Graph Editor, and I mean, unless you were trying to like ask me to, or trying to solve some of these problems for the cache. But this is be the Graph Editor. I don't know. I'm not sure where we're going with that one. They ask me more specifically what it is you're looking for. I'm going to create an asset here, and we're going to try and figure out how to do this import of a cache, because I also forget how to do this part. This is where, yeah, we're going to like go straight to Google, because for some reason it's not intuitively coming up in my head. I think I'll just import the file. Yeah, we're looking for, I'm pretty sure, like an ABC file or something. That's why I was like, this is not looking right. I didn't even find the file format in here. Oh, there it is, ABC. That's what I'm supposed to be exporting as. So, I don't know, I'm missing something here. Let's go find out. I am missing a limbic cache as my option in Maya. Let's try a different version of Maya. Actually, leave it if it's not released yet. Anyway, just to export the the deformation system from the rig. Bake. Anyway, to export, just bake the deformation system from the rig. Bake the deformation system from the rig. Not sure what that means. Audrey returning the favor. Really love the Skyrim theme on the ships. There you go. You guys are doing the follow to follow technique here. Or you should be doing the follow to follow. After baking the deformation system hierarchy, delete the motion system and just export as FBX. What? Wait a minute. Bake the deformation system. I don't know what that means. How do you bake a deformation system? It would basically be turning it into a point cache again, wouldn't it? And then delete the motion system and export as an FBX. But then if you're exporting as FBX, that means you'd have to be exporting as a... there it is. It's in the old version of Maya. You have to be exporting as a joint system, is what I'm thinking. Unless I'm way off track. I'm going to open up manually the puppy file again in Maya 2020.4. Oh, I'm really off here. Where am I going here? Temp. Files. Here in puppy. Source. Puppy. Okay, let's try this again. We grab the mesh. I think I forgot to save it, so put it back down to on preview mesh. Grab all the edges. Wait for a few seconds. Go to modeling. Soften edge. The rig must have a hierarchy, bone hierarchy. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, my first attempt at doing the bone hierarchy export has resulted in, which is what is putting me in this position in the first place, is resulted in the jaw not moving properly. So we're getting like not quite 100% result, perfect result from the joint export, and the hierarchy that the joints are in is called the deformation system. You're right, because it's the advanced skeleton. But I still don't quite understand why the jaw bone and the jaw influence isn't included in that whole system. And there are a few blend shapes in the rig as well. So it occurred to me that I was waiting for nothing. You can see here the mouth is opening, like some of the joints are rotating for the mouth open, but the jaw bone, which I think is like right about here, is just not influencing the skinning on the full body. So there was quite a lot of workarounds I had to do just to get the skin to actually export into Unreal, because it was using too many influences or something. So that might be one of the sacrifices that happened, which would mean I have to go in there and reskin that portion of the body, which, yeah, you could do that, but I'm trying to find a solution that is like super, I don't know, it's like fail-safe. At least I'm hoping it is. I may find out I'm sorely wrong. If you want to export Alembic, you have to enable Alembic from Maya plugin. See, what was the search for the Alembic pub plugin? Because I searched for Alembic and I didn't find it. We'll do it again. Oh goodness, where the heck is the window? Plugin manager. Like, what is the Alembic cache called? I don't know. Oh, here's ABC. ABC. Let's try that over here. Ah, here they are. Yep. That's what I was looking for. There we go. Okay, so yeah, you can do it in 2022. The face sets will preserve the material. Yep, I think that makes sense. Okay. I'm just gonna do it in 2020 since I've already have it here. And try it again. Export selection to Alembic. That seems pretty intuitive. Time slider. 85. Just gonna go with that. Jump it back into here. Get that working. All right, now I got to import it into Unreal. While exporting Alembic, you make sure you check right UV sets and right face sets. Oh, okay. Export selection. Where was the options for that? Right. Face sets. Wait, sets. I wonder what face sets does. Is that what we were talking about a minute ago? You were talking about that before. I just didn't quite catch on. Do it again. Otherwise, the UVs won't be preserved and material won't apply. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Face sets preserves the material IDs. Oh, okay. Antonio! Hey, welcome. Did you try telling him that he's a good boy? That was good. I should. You're just not being a good boy. You're clearly breaking. Need you to just do better. You have multiple material IDs. Right, yeah. No, that's great. That was a good little tip. And now I gotta import it into Unreal, which I don't know. I think I need a plugin or something. Let's go check the web page. Oh, look at this. They tell you to do that. Well, that is handy. I just haven't quite got there yet. Doesn't say anything about acquiring plugins, does it? Import the file. What else is it saying? Method importing. Application importing. It seems intuitive. Give him bone if he starts working. That's right, he'll need a reward. It's just a nice, respectable thing to do. Olympics are really, really risky, though. They don't always work as expected, especially in UE4. Yeah, I think Kieran was also having some challenges trying to get it working because of the fact that, especially if you want to change stuff. Wow, there's a lot of information in this document. I did not expect it to go on and on and on and on. Oh yeah, geometry cache. I remember that now. Is that within the import options then? Import type. Geometry cache. Motion vectors. Wait, what? There's no other option there. There's no, oh, there's geometry cache down here. Motion vectors. Import ABC velocities as motion vectors. What am I doing? This will not work without face sets defined in your external application. Well, luckily we have done that. No motion vectors, motion ABC velocities as motion vectors, import velocities. I wonder why we're trying to import the velocities of the vertexes, the vectors. Oh, import a skeletal. Base pose as morph targets. Blending them between them to achieve the correct animation frame. Importing as a skeletal mesh is the most efficient way to play back an Olympic animation as long as the vertex count does not change. Huh. Don't import as skeletal. This is great. I'm so happy to have someone like going, don't do that. That's gonna be a waste of time. Avoid, avoid, avoid. I'm like, oh, I will avoid this. There is a lot of warnings in all of this documentation, isn't there? It's just like, this is experimental. Don't do this. It's really dangerous. No, don't do that. All right, let's just try it. See what happens. All right, we have, oh, where's my, you don't get a preview, but you get to see a little bit of it. Okay, well, let's try putting it into a level sequence. Whoops. Hopeful that that was going to work. That doesn't seem to be working here. Mission. Geez, I wonder what step did I do wrong now, I wonder. By the way, I wrote a plugin which hasn't been released, which actually eases a lot of these problems. You can check it out after the stream on my channel if it interests you, which I haven't released yet. Oh. I am interested. Especially if you're actually solving a problem that is something that alleviating something that we're definitely seeing. Also, I must say, you're writing a plugin about this. It's pretty helpful that you're able to give me some tips here. I gotta say, I didn't expect you to be like, oh yeah, I'm also writing a plugin for this. We're definitely getting the first frame of the cache. I don't know if there's anything else that I could possibly... I remember getting it to work before, but I don't know if I did it on a full character. It was just like a simple cube. So it's possible that I'm walking into a mind trap of complexity here. But I feel like it did seem to work out for here and there. A lot better than it's working out for me so far. I wonder if it was my export settings or my import settings that were just not quite, went too far with stuff. There's like 30 megabytes worth of file stuff in there, so. After importing a sequence, go to that plus symbol in the sequence and select geocache. Oh, okay, there you go. That's what I'm missing. Geocache component. And is it like a track that I can put in? Oh, yeah. Hey, there it is. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Nice. Thank you for that help, by the way. That was only like 12 steps. Only 12 steps. Alright, this other character rig, I'm gonna have to do again without the body mesh. Means I gotta update the skeletal mesh, I guess. So here's the deformation system skeleton, and then in the meshes we want to exclude the body. So we grab these two systems, export selection, put that into the skeletal mesh file, the smoothing groups. We may not be getting the tongue to work. Hey, Riz! Riz is animating fingers. What kind of fingers are you animating? On what type of character? Skeletal mesh. Re-import. There we go. So, inside of the puppy, should be able to bring the puppy sequence animation in as well. Oh, look, they're two different sizes. That's gonna be a problem. Riz animating fingers on a hand. Okay. That's good. I was actually asking you like what type of character is it? Like is it part of one of your animations of the new thing? Just match the transform and we got it working. That's right. I'm hoping that's all gonna be that we have to do. Maybe we'll put that up at a certain height. 20 and 20. Well, there you go. That's the right transform. Definitely have an animation sync issue. Does seem like the second one. No, they start kind of in the right place. They don't really start in the right place, do they? The pivot point of the static mesh probably doesn't match the pivot point of the control rig. Probably what's happening right now. And I don't even know. Even if it was in the right place, head location looks totally different. RDK is enjoying this surreal animation that I'm making here. It says, yes, it's part of one of my animations. Awesome. I guess exporting everything as Alembic will be a good idea. As I said, Alembic does all that very often. So you're just saying do the whole mouth and the collar and everything as just one giant cache. That seemed a little safer. I didn't expect the cache to be so, like, distorted in terms of scale and size and animation speed and everything. You can definitely see that being a hassle. All right, let's give it a go. Since we got the workflow down now. Grab all the geo. It's a bit crazy just to grab all the geo like this, but I'll just start there, see what happens. We'll export selected. Make sure our checkboxes are still on. You need to parent, maybe, I guess. I don't know, parenting probably won't help, but in that case. It just seems like they're two different sizes and scales. And the frames per second are mismatching, which means that you'll never be able to match it up without stretching and scaling the animation to just the right mathematical ratio. Alembic actually converts each frame as blend shapes when you import it into Unreal. Oh. Was there an option for frames per second when I was importing it? Or like, what exactly are they using to judge the speed exactly? I just watch it. Does it look faster? Doesn't look too bad, really. I mean, realistically, even if it is a bit faster, it wasn't too crazy. Right, I feel like I should just start a new one here. Which one is this? Is that the same one? Ash one? Yeah. 54 megabytes now. Frame end 85, frame start, frame type per frame for X frames. It's time step. time step. Tracks. Well, could I guess find out what those other ones did, but I'm not really too curious at the moment. So add our geometry cache. Oh, I already put it in there. Put in our rotation. And our translation. Oh, we even got some tongue geo in there. Nice. That was it. That is the good way to do it. Is just to do it all as one. Not try to risk matching the one to the other. I wonder if that has to do anything with why there's a whole skeletal mesh export option. I don't know. Because it does seem interesting that they even have that choice. So you would have, like, I guess you still have to have your base mesh as part of your skeletal mesh, and then it would just distort that base mesh throughout all the frames or something, I guess. Anyway, this looks pretty good. Let me see if I can get some materials on that. Don't need this one anymore. So, I don't even know how you do the materials. Oh, here they are. We have one material. Kind of don't believe that's true. Oh, I don't know if they gave me, I don't know if Karen gave me any materials. Maybe we're not going to do materials. We'll just put, maybe we'll just put something else on. I don't think he actually gave me any extra assets. I'll check with I'll explore just to be sure. Yeah, I don't think there's anything there. Never use Alembic if using for a gaming pipeline. Actually, it's just a geocache and never generates collision for using it in blueprint purposes. Right. I mean, even if you're, I mean, I would never really think that this would be an easy process as a game asset for many different other types of reasons, like, I don't know, rendering, overhead, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you're using it as a character, your collision capsule would be your collision object anyways, I'm assuming, but unless you mean something else. I'm gonna try and put a texture on here of, oh yeah, see there's like a collar texture, eyes texture, gums texture. There is a ton of different materials. So when I look at the actual geocache and I only have one material option in here, you can kind of see that being a bit of a problem later. Like, how do you get all the materials to look correct? We do have the one Lambert material in here. And it does seem to apply to all the characters, so you'd have to, like, I don't know, have it all in the same UV space or something. Definitely see where there's a lot of limitations right now, where you're like, I want to tweak this out, and you're like, oh wait, it's really complicated. I'd have to go back and make some changes to how exactly the materials are laid down just to make it work. Because the capsules are generated over the hierarchy mesh bones, and Alembic has no bones. Oh yeah, right. That's right. I can definitely see how complicated this gets all of a sudden. Because now you've got it like, you don't have the standard character skeletal mesh type of setup to work with. Alright, okay, how many materials Unreal Engine give us? I guess you can put a lot of different material sets on a mesh, on a geometry. I'm not sure if there's, or I don't know what the limitation is because I've never gotten anywhere to hitting it before. But if I go to the skeletal mesh for this character, you can see, even though I don't have the body mesh on it anymore, but it's got lots of different material slots for it, for each particular type, and that was decided by the artist to decide how they wanted to distribute the textures and the UVs for each mesh. But yeah, like I can't really emulate this with the cache, so I don't have all these material slots and all this stuff. I don't know, maybe if you had a whole bunch of individual caches so that each object that has a material becomes its own Alembic cache and they all run simultaneously together, then you could apply materials that way, I suppose. But based on how many different material slots there was, that would be a pain in the butt. I'm not sure if there was an option here to do that individually or not. Can we change that? You can change it easily by exporting it from Maya, what type of bases you want each object to be. Let me just do a better job explaining that. So if I look at in Maya and I go to my Hypershade, you can see there's lots of different materials here for each one. And so if I select one of these materials, you'll see that it selects the geometry that that's material is assigned to. So when I export all this geometry into Unreal, it separates those pieces of geometry into a different texture set, and it'll be called Eyes Shader. So when we're in Unreal, you'll see a material been generated called Eyes Shader, and it has been assigned to the material slot for Eyes Shader. And in here, if I isolate it, you'll see that it just picks the geometry picked. So in Maya, I can just decide whatever I want to assign to whatever. I mean, if I took all the geometry and assigned it all to the same Lambert 1, then when I export it in Unreal, it's going to show just one material slot called Lambert 1, and it will apply it to the whole thing. But then you get into the whole conversation of like, well, what's your UV layout look like? And how did you decide to do your textures? Because each object has been carefully designed to be laid out so that the texture distribution works out right to match the textures. So it's not just a matter of combining it all, you have to actually be very conscious of like how exactly you're going to do that, unless you use some kind of can't think of the word, the layering process. Oh, I wish I could remember things. It'd be so good. I'd just be able to say things and then remember what they were, and then when I say them, it makes sense. Not HDMI, HDRI, HRH. Does it start with H? I don't know, whatever. The multi-system you can do. I can't remember the name of, because I'm like that. Actually, I usually just use Phong shaders and color them uniquely over the material IDs. That way, when I import in Unreal, The material inherits the color and it's easier for me to apply the shaders. That sounds smart. Color them uniquely in Maya before exporting. Yeah, so in this case especially, we have no actual materials assigned to any of these meshes, so it's never going to come out with a texture, even if for whatever reason the FBX was working. But usually I find that they don't export properly anyways, where it brings the texture along. So you have to manually assign each one. But you could, in theory, basically change the color of... oh, I thought the body was colored Lambert 1. That's weird. We'll go to the eye shader then. Oh, it's been actually assigned to a material. Material that doesn't have anywhere that goes. UDIMs, that's what I'm trying to think of. Found it. So if you do a UDIM workflow, technically we're on a different conversation about how you're splitting up your stuff. And there is a UDIM plugin in Unreal that allows you to combine it all. But I'm not going to bother getting into that conversation. But it's like, that is an alternative way to do it. I don't know if it works at all with cache. My brain is too complicatedly confused right now. Anyways, so all we're saying right now is you can just change the color of this. So if I break the connection, you can make it red, and which is hilarious because his eyes are now red, and then it'll remember that color when it exports into Unreal. So at least the color of the material is going to be red instead of white, so you'll be able to tell a different material ID. I don't know if it has to be a Fong, or if a Fong just matches the shininess well. Color them uniquely in Maya before exporting. Arnold shader color doesn't work for some reason. Yeah, so I've always had trouble with Arnold, any type of Arnold materials from Maya as well. Those type, yeah, AI standard surface. So all these are AI standard surface materials, so they're probably not gonna do the color. But if it's a Lambert or any of the traditional Maya materials like Fongs and stuff, then they do get recognized in FBX files, because FBX file format was originally built around the older type of materials. UDIMs are forbidden territory in Unreal. They're really complicated. They're forbidden territory. Don't walk near the UDIMs. Yeah, it's very new. The UDIM pipeline is like not... I didn't even know it was possible until just a few months ago, where I'm like, somebody was like, hey, you know, there's a plugin now for UDIMs? And I'm like, what? So, if we actually go and take a look, you should be able to find it. Nope. What do I know? I don't know what I'm talking about. I thought there was a UDIM plugin. Oh, great. Well, anyways, we'll just leave it there. There was supposed to be one. It was supposed to be very beta and new, but it would allow you to import and control a UDIM pipeline. I clearly don't use it very much, so. But when you start working with Substance Painter, the whole concept of using UDIMs in your pipeline is becoming very common. So I think in the future we're working towards the point of becoming a common workflow with UDIMs, but it was traditionally never a thing that would happen in real-time environments. Wow, that was intensely technical. All right, let's try to do some more intensely technical stuff as we try to get the MetaHuman plugin working on Maya. And actually, I may have already started this. Now, I have started it, and I can't confirm that I have it working yet. So, part of my stream here was just to make sure that I got it working. I wasn't really anticipating the caching to be so complicated. I just thought, oh, I'll just get it running and then we're good to go. But there was a lot of steps involved there. which I will probably forget again as soon as I'm finished the stream. But maybe not. Maybe I'll remember this time. Alright. There is a update for Quixel Bridge, which I swear I've been doing this about 1,000,000 times, so I don't know. We'll see. Try it again. So when you bring in the plugin from MetaHuman to Maya, it goes through the Quixel Bridge, which is kind of interesting. Definitely wasn't what the bridge was traditionally known for, but since they got MetaHuman working recently, it's now becoming the import of everything. And so this character, for example, I have carefully set up to export target was Maya. I almost feel like I should do another character, but these are actually really huge files to download, so like it may actually take a long time. Let's try this one here. We'll just download it, make sure we're set up to our export settings is Maya, and we download. And I don't know if it matters or not, but I just know that my original one that I downloaded, where's that guy? Oh, he's gone. Oh, there he is. This guy, for some reason this one did not, I wasn't able to get it to work. So anyway, so we'll just work with this one for now. Group says, well, Unreal is not exactly a good vessel for geocache, as even if you're doing everything right, it all depends on what it can read. Yeah. Well, that's good to know, because I really don't have a lot of experience with geocache, so I've done some in the past, but then it was more like just a fake to get cloth working. I could only get them to work for 10% of the time in Unreal. Alright, well that's good. I appreciate that bit of information, because stuff like that you only find out after lots of experience. Alright, now as we get into Unreal 5, who knows what the standard is anymore. It's all very difficult to keep track of. There's like lots of crazy things going on with Unreal 5 that you're like, okay, how is this pipeline gonna work? And then, oh, maybe they have a different plan. I don't know what's gonna happen there. Alright, I'm gonna hit export on this particular character set up for Maya, and it's exporting to Maya successfully, exported successfully. That in part is because I have Maya 2020 open. Note I'm using Maya 2020 that it picked up on. I have Maya 2020 and 2021 open, but it only really picks up Maya 2022. Too many 20s going on here. Although this one is crashed, so I don't know, maybe that is doing something. But you can see this one's asking me if I want to you know what? I'll just keep my mouth shut. Maybe I'm totally wrong in my theory. Because last time it crashed. I thought it was 2020, but maybe it was 2021, 2022. Sure hope I get to stop saying 2020s. Aquib says, Aquib? I have no idea how to say your name. I really wish I did. It hurts to see people trying Olympic out. Wow, I'm gonna have to like stop giving people advice to use geocache, I suppose. I mean, there's a lot of interesting aspects when you come to like blend shapes and, you know, all these different ways that you can work with sort of geometry morphing situations, but maybe the best context is more of a, I don't know, like in sort of a manipulation of a skeletal mesh rather than starting from running from raw scratch. Why is this file open and running fine now? Okay, I don't know. Where's our fancy plugin option there? All right, I've closed both Unreal, both Maya versions, and when I hit export, it should tell me stuff like could not find it. So now we're just going to open up one of our Mayas so that I can figure out which Maya it is that it's talking to, because it doesn't really give me very good details in the actual options here. So we have Maya 2020 open, which you got to let load for a while. For me, Meta doesn't work at all. I'm still confused how to get it to load yet. Ah. Are you talking about in Unreal, or are we talking about trying to get the plugin working in Maya? Because if it's the plugin in Maya, then we got a real problem on our hands. Confirm dialog. See, that worked this time. Are you or at least something worked. Are you sure you want to import MetaHuman character? Yes. There we go. Now we're getting something. We got a window of progress over here. So yeah, Maya 2020 was the one that's working for me here. Well, we'll see. It's still loading. We've got progress bar of 227 out of 763 objects. I'd show you, but I don't actually know how to get it to do that. Because it just won't let me move it. So I'll just have to take my word for it. Happening. 45%. Give you like play-by-play action. What's happening over there? This looks promising though. I never actually got this far before when I was doing my tests. All I knew was that like it was trying to close my current file in Maya 2020 and then it crashed, and I was like, well, at least it's talking to the right version. And then I went off and did something else. So hopefully that wasn't too confident. Oh, here it is. The progress window is over here now. Hopefully that wasn't too arrogant of me to be like, oh, it'll work now. But I really do actually like experiencing the whole flow in the stream so that I can trigger off things that are very unique when you do it the first time around. Like, for example, setting my settings to Maya, and which, you know, I've already done now, but, you know, the first time around I was like, oh, I gotta switch this to Maya, and then before it would actually, you know, to stop it from exporting to Unreal every time. So we'll see if this is successful. I mean, I imagine it's possible because the whole freaking animation competition is based around this principle of being able to animate it. So it would be weird if they had a competition and it's like, oh, sorry, there's a bug that prevents you from importing it. Sean says, everyone that uses Maya imports crashes while That's funny. That's just how it goes. Skip. Skip says, but I was blown away when I saw their fax rig. I mean, they just ended it at this point. I mean, they just ended. Oh, you mean the industry has come to a grinding halt because of the new rig they have available to everyone in the industry. As it really does. I think there is. We've definitely talked about how the MetaHuman rig is, or just how disruptive it has been in the industry, because, you know, there's so many people's careers are based on trying to get that photorealistic look on characters, and now it's pretty much the value of that has been dropped to a very insignificant level, because it's like, well, no company is going to be like, can I get you to do this from scratch, when they can just come in here and make a character. I mean, I feel like the MetaHumans have a distinctive look to them, like a recognizable look, but it's so much better than trying to do it from scratch. I mean, it's so hard to get humans to look not uncannily weird, and when you include all the crazy amount of joints and LODing and like just the fact that they've got the mouth to work in a way that looks fairly natural when they move, that's a huge amount of work. So nobody would in their right mind would go, oh yeah, let's just do this on our own instead of grabbing a version from here. Uh-oh, there's a red line that says failed to create evaluator for it. Hopefully that's insignificantly information here. Current drawing API. That was like a really long time to open this file. Holy cow. Okay, let's get the pivot point to work here. What's going on here? Go back to animation mode. My viewport is pretty weird right now. There we go. Now we're getting something working. Because I just had to do the default view option, which is like one of the weirdest settings to fix. Wow, look at all those joints. Man, we are getting something working though. After all that time, it actually does import. Amazing. Sean says, unless you want something so specific to sculpt, retopo, and so on, it would take forever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're talking about uncanny, like, characters that are just not real and stuff, then you have a different argument, but there's just so much work in making something like this work. Elena says, that's how I felt about Megascans as an environment modeler. So true. Good comparison. But there will always be a need for specific models, especially stylized. Yeah, that's exactly right. And you'll always need people to, like, you know, put it in the world and make it work and have that technical ability, which is, I think, a big driver for why we're making this technical artist course, because it's just important that you're more advanced as an artist than just you can make stuff. It's also like you can make it work, which I think is where the true value is. Sarah says, can you stylize the metahumans as in texture if you didn't want something realistic? I would say yes, but every time I look at how complex the LOD system is, I'm always like, whoa, how are they doing this? But when it comes to materials, it might be a little easier. Crib says, I'm very scared for the future at this point. What jobs are going to get cut off very soon? Question mark. John says, I mean, it is what it is. We're all like panicking. What? Is our career so alive? I know. I totally hear you. No, but I think it's a good thing though, because and I, you know, what am I? I'm just a guy who has an opinion, but it always seems to happen over the years where we have technology advancements, but it never really does a negative problem. It just enables more people to make content, which means they need to ask more people to help them, which means they make more content, which means the end product is actually bigger than what we were ever able to do before. So it never really seems to like mean layoffs. It just means the project scope gets bigger. It happened with motion capture too, in the animation industry. We were all like, oh my goodness, the animation world is coming apart because we can do motion capture. But in the end of the day, it was like, oh yeah, well, there's certain places where mocap is really helpful, and then they have tons of mocap. And then there's certain areas where it's like, no, it's better just to let the artist figure it out. Destiny has arrived. Yeah. Anyway, and then we're talking about Unreal 5 coming down the line, and there's like a huge shift potentially there as well, where our pipelines are all going to change, and like I don't even understand how they're going to work. And it's possible that maybe it's not going to work. Maybe we're going to have to take some time before we actually are able to shift our pipelines to match that. But you know, again, it comes back to if you're tech savvy enough to be able to figure it out, to be able to get yourself in that zone, there's lots of opportunity to do all kinds of great things. So, you know, it's not an easy career where you can just sort of sit back with your skill set and not advance, but at the same time, when things are changing, there's lots of opportunity to get yourself shot up the spectrum of knowledge, because of the fact that everyone else who's been in the industry for many years has not learned the new tool yet, and everybody's using the new tool. So what are you gonna do? Sean says, I mean, to be able to make things we have now would be unheard of 10 years ago, yeah. And this is true. And it'll be like that in 10 years too, I guess, won't it? Kip says, and where do you, did that bring you? Back to me? Said Maya calmly. That's funny. Yeah, here we are in Maya. Doing some work for Unreal, because we can't do it in Unreal. I don't know if that'll always be the case, but it's definitely true right now. Elena says, yeah, I think I finally have a finalized render for my project. Now, like 2 more and a cinematic to go. Oh my goodness, 2 more. Wow. It's good. I think your render, Elena, was really nice. I think you got a really nice piece there. The sparks are definitely an excellent addition to it. And it is very satisfying when you get to a point where you're like, yes, this is good. Put that one aside. Move on to the next one. I think that's a great place to be. Alright, so I have all these joints showing. I have tons of layers. I'm actually so satisfied that it's like just working. I'm like, well, we're good. We're just like, now we just animate. But it's possible that we may run into some issues here. I am kind of curious, so we got lots of LODs. So we got our body LODs and our head LODs all the way up to the low poly one. You can animate on the low poly with the 1,000 joints. I guess I can just turn off the joints, but that seems a bit weird. Oh, they're not curves. They're polygons. It's all geo. And I assume... Now that is interesting. For this animation competition, I guess you would have to do body motion as well as facial animation. So how do they do the body joints? Is there a body rig? And is it just hidden or something? Well, they definitely have the joints. But I don't know about a rig. Oh, body rig. Where's that body geo? It's just geo. Facial controls goes into the head group. Rig setup. What's Mega Scans button do? Apply material to selection. What does that mean? I kind of feel like we're still in a very stuck position here where I'm like, well, what if you wanted to animate the body? What are you gonna do? Oh, geez, I got all these messages here. Well, where did I leave off? Elena, gotta impress him, Simon. And thank you. That's right, you gotta. Sarah, someone heard a rumor the other day that Epic was buying Maya. Oh my goodness, I have never heard that one before. But I'm guessing it was just a rumor. I can see a rumor like that being very believable with Epic buying everything left, right, and center. I will be shocked if they buy Maya though. But I do know that there is a possibility that Autodesk does not really want to hold on to Maya anymore. So, who knows? Maybe there's a good deal on it for it. Elena, Epic is becoming a monopoly. Becoming. I feel like they're well on their way for sure. Hard IK, is there something we can do in Maya to make textures visible? There is this textures button, which will enable your textures if there was any. So it's actually if you hit 5, I think, or oh, geez, as soon as I hit that button, all kinds of weird stuff happens. 6 is what you want to hit. Anyways, it's just this button here. But I just don't think there's any textures in this particular Maya file. Although I could be wrong. Shader eyes, eyelashes, eyes. Body shader. Installation off. There's a bunch of TX files. Wow. This is a DirectX 11 shader. I don't know. I have to... Maybe I need to change how I'm viewing things to be able to support DirectX 11 or something. I don't know if that's maybe what's happening. I forget how to even do that. Okay, I gotta keep reading here. Web says there's no body rig. They used perception neuron for mocap and cleaned that all in UE4. Wow, I should have read that a long time ago. Interesting. But there is a body rig in Unreal. But yeah, I guess they didn't use that in Maya. They just used mocap. Well, that's disappointing. How the heck are you supposed to do the animation competition if you can't do? You gotta have mocap. Because I didn't realize this when I was advertising about this competition. Sorry, you also have to have a mocap rig and apply it. Oh, but they do have that feature where you can take body motion and bake it to the MetaHuman control rig. So I guess you could animate it in whatever, and then just bake it in and have it as your final thing. It's a bit more complicated than I expected, though. There wasn't the rules for comp that it's all animated in Unreal 4. Well, that's not fair. Let me check. That's a very good question. Definitely worth addressing before I get too deep in here. Where the heck is my webpage here? I had it in here. There it is. Oh, I've got all this stuff pinned. Okay, hold on. I'm not ready yet. Over here. I guess it would have to be unrendered, right? Okay, let me just read a bit more here. And UE Meta, it has its own rig system. UE Meta has its own rig system, right. See, I'm answering questions and you guys have already talked about it. Didn't Epic acquire ArtStation? Yes, it did. That happened this week, I think. Elena, I think 6. I think 6? What am I missing there? Sarah, yep, they did. Aquib says the rule is actually there because it's complicated to animate. The Meta has a control rig only in UE4. Oh man. Hard IK says, tell me, sir, tell me. I like how you're dressing it like that. Tell me, answer for my question. Oh no, what was your question? Is there something we can do in Maya to visible textures? I think I answered it. Was that your question? I just gotta turn on that thing. Or maybe I took so long to answer it that I'm just reading something that was written half an hour ago. 9 minutes left in the stream. I gotta make sure I summarize this somehow. Hey, Abby. Hi, welcome. Sean, imagine opening up Maya and you see a Fortnite character rig. Actually, it's not too unusual, or not too unbelievable. They do have the art rigs that were originally made for Fortnite, the art toolkit, and then they have the art toolkit V2, and from what I heard, art toolkit V3 coming. Which might have some sort of connection with how they do Fortnite character rigs in Maya. But I don't know. It's not really in my area of understanding. I actually I feel like the art toolkit is no longer being done with Epic anymore, but it's just kind of like this independent thing that I believe is what's going on. So who knows what they're doing internally at Epic. But I'm sure it's pretty sophisticated. I'm sure it's not like a tool set that was written 4 years ago. 5 years ago. Let's see where I can get this confirmation that it has to be animated in Epic, or does it just have to be rendered from Unreal Epic render queue? Animate the clip within Unreal Engine using the supplied project rig and audio file. Oh shoot, you have to actually use what they give you. I guess that makes sense. I should check out this file. Where is this file? Here's the audio clip. Do I have to like sign in and stuff? I thought the only limitation was that you had to render it in Unreal, which would have just made perfect sense. Wait, what was it? The second part there? Shoot. I wish I hadn't left. I wanted to find out what the steps are here. Sorry, trying to read here. RDK says, how to visible. Can you tell me again? Sorry for being so delayed on my text messages here. This button right here, little texture, turn on and off. That is the button you were looking for to turn on and off textures. I just demonstrated it better in this file, but none of the textures are working because it's DirectX 11. I was going to try to figure it out, but I got distracted. At this point, I see MetaHumans as a very good business strategy for production houses to buy stuff like Perception Neuron and Dynamic XYZ systems. Not sure what that means. I mean, why won't you want to have a perfect rig? Yeah, exactly. Like, it's definitely a weak point in Unreal, is somehow like, how do you get your stuff to look good with animation? And if there's somehow that they can universalize that so that you can make animations without having a huge hurdles to get animations to come and go, then that's a big one. And real-time rendering. Yeah. Sean says, to be honest, they might try it because they did donate a couple $1 million to Blender not that long ago. If they get Blender. If they buy Blender, I quit. I don't know what that means. I like Blender. I mean, I actually don't know it very well. Andrew says, couldn't they donate millions of dollars to me? I'll gladly take it. Yeah, there you go. So that solves all the problems if Audrey just takes the millions of dollars. Alright, okay, I asked for those MetaHuman models. Yeah, they're in the bridge tool. I'm not sure if you're asking a question. So this is the Quixel bridge you can get for free off of the Quixel website. And you just go here and click the presets and download them. It's pretty straightforward, actually, for getting a copy of it. Abby, hey, just want to know how to rig Godzilla. Because it's really high poly model. Are they using the proxy model or the rig proxy model and then copy the animation data to high poly model? Oh, okay. That's a good question. Yeah, they definitely, for high poly meshes, you would want to proxy it down so that you're just working with something that's a lot less intense, because the animator doesn't want to be working on like 2 frames a second. They want to see their whole animation play real fast. Abby says, can we copy animation data, by the way, in some software? Whoa. Yes. There's lots of different ways to copy animation data. So FBX is usually your standard way to carry joint rotational information and translational. But then you have to have a skinned mesh and everything. I'm not sure if that's answering the question. Who says, Hardake, you can't because these marked materials are not imported. Ah, yes. Well, we don't know for sure if they're not imported, but they sure don't seem like it at the moment. It might just be I have to turn on my DirectX 11 shader setup thing somehow. I just don't know anything about how to do that, and it's possible that this isn't the solution even if I did figure it out. Oh, here it is, DirectX 11. New settings for you, but next time you open up Maya. Oh, maybe it'll work. I don't know. Seems a little more promising now. I have like 3 minutes to get this figured out here. Let's see if I can at least do this. What folder do I want to go to? Save. It's gonna take forever to save. It's like a giant 3 terabyte file or something. Sean says, Audrey, yes, and put them in game stocks. Hard okay. Sad face. Oh, I see, sad face. Crib says, process is called retargeting. Abby. Oh, yeah. Copy animation data by using retargeting. Good answer. Saying, okay. Oh, and you got an okay. Yeah, retargeting is definitely a way to transfer animations between characters. But you need a retargeting software, so if you're in Maya, if you're on Unreal, you can retarget. If you're in Maya, you have to have like HIK system working and stuff, and it's a very long conversation. Who says NPC behind the Godzilla had their own animation built in studio, and they don't care much about mesh count at that point. Own animation built in studio. Wow. That's cool. So they got some sort of very fancy thing happening there, allowing them to animate with the render mesh. That would be insane. I mean, that's kind of what Unreal 5 is trying to do at one point, but Unreal 5 is not out yet, so that's not happening yet. I can't close my Maya here. Just wanted to see if I can get this thing to work. Oh, I got my desktop audio on. Sorry, everybody. What a digital, I guess I don't actually recall, maybe both. Wait, what? Oh. What a digital. Oh, okay. Human IK does the job well. Yeah, Human IK was designed for doing retargeting, but usually you do it in Motion Builder rather than Maya. But you can technically do it in Maya if you need to. I got no time left, but I'm really curious. I want to see if this works. Let's see if we can get this. First, I got to prove that it is DirectX 11. Yes, and then I got to open up the file. Don't save. Continue. Close that one. Just want to see if any textures come in. And Audrey says, thank you for the stream. She's getting in there early. It's good. Thank you for joining me on the stream. I don't know how long this is going to take me for me to load here. Hopefully this isn't going to be the entire time here. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? I hadn't forgotten it because I just remembered. I was going to mention this in the very start. Next week is we're going to have Deepak here. Deepak is our dude who is our expert in virtual production, and he is going to be the guy to talk about a cool little project. I'm going to give you a little teaser here. That he's been working on, and he has an interesting little test project that he's done. Sorry, I'm killing time as I'm trying to find his post here. There he is. All right. So we got this little test scene that he's done, and he set it up as a virtual production so that he can. Where's his link? There. He doesn't have a link anymore. There it is. So you can do this little video. where it's I'll do the whole teaser here. So he's sort of our expert in virtual production in terms of, you know, matching real life with CG and talking about lighting, talking about scene setup, all that kind of stuff. So he's going to come in next week and talk about how he did that cool scene, which, I mean, I'm probably ruining the drama of it because I can't do a full screen, but it's pretty hilarious at the end there. And hey, look, the textures work. All right, bonus. Just had to get DirectX 11 working. We got sandals and everything. So hey, 2 positive things right at the end of my stream. That was excellent. So anyway, tune in next week to find out more about how he did that setup, because he's got lots of awesome information to share. He just has to he just needs a sounding board to or a soapbox to stand on to be able to share it with everybody. So sounds awesome. Let's see it. Oh yeah, Super Aliens. Remember to check out. Oh yeah, if you can check out my plugin. How the heck am I gonna find your plugin? I'll send a message. You can try to get a hold of me. I don't know how exactly you know how to get a hold of me, but I'll try to do a little message. I'm here. There you go. I would be very interested to try out your plugin and see what it's like. Maybe waiting until you release it or whatever. I don't care. I can talk about it on the stream because it sounds really interesting. And thanks guys for showing up to the stream. It's on your my channel last upload. Okay, I will check, see if I can follow up with about it. Thanks. Oh, there we go. We got a follow from someone else. Excellent. And I will see you guys not next week because Deepak will be here next week, but I'll see you in a couple weeks, and we'll catch up and carry on. All right. So take care, everybody.